Anchal, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Mimi. Thank you very much.
What is this journey for you? And most importantly, what role has your cultural values, your Bharatiya, value system played in supporting you through this journey?
So, I've run a business, I've done a lot of service, and now eventually I got married late, I had a baby late.
धन की जब आप गाय बांधते हो ना, तो जितनी रस्सी है, जितना वो गाय घूम सकता है पानी और चारा तक, बस उतनी ही आपकी फ्री विल है. Everything else is destiny.
Even that was in question. And, I remember my nani telling me at that time, and she said, Teko studio chalana hai. I said, yeah, tu chala, मैं बैठी हूँ, मैं देखती हूँ तेको कोई क्या बोलता है.
Welcome to the Bharatiya Frequency. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you today a guest who is also my very dear friend, Aanchal Gupta Kalantri, who is an extraordinary, multi-talented and multifaceted personality. And I would say it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she is in absolute rhythm with life, because as a professional, she began with Arts in Motion, which is a dance studio where some of the most iconic Bollywood songs have been rehearsed, have been practiced. And her journey from there to now being a mother has been absolutely fascinating to watch. So I'm going to talk to Aanchal Gupta Kalantri today. Hi, Aanchal, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Mimi. Thank you very much for having me over on your show. I know the world knows you as Meenakshi Rao, but I know you as Mimi. And thank you very much for having me here. And I know that we are very dear friends, but also for me, you are a huge inspiration as a woman, as you know that, as a friend, and you've been through all the ups and downs of my life. So I couldn't be happier sharing my journey with you than anyone else. And thank you very much for having me. I'm really looking forward to the episode. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aanchal. It means so much to me when someone who knows me as well as you do, finds whatever little bit I know or do to be useful to your journey. Having said that, I think what I want to talk about a little bit straight away is the latest event in your life, which is motherhood.
Yes.
And again, by Indian standards, it's a late motherhood.
Very late.
So I would be interested to understand, the societal reactions, how you've tackled that, what is this journey for you, and most importantly, what role has your cultural values, your Bharatiya, value system played in supporting you through this journey?
So, Mimi, as you know, that my journey has, in fact, it's a joke between friends of mine that, my life is Benjamin Button. I have done everything in reverse. So, I've run a business, I've done a lot of service, and now eventually I got married late, I had a baby late. But I think through all of it, on a very serious note, I think that value systems have played a very, very strong role because life has not been easy. Much as it may have seemed glamorous on the outset, you know it, and
Yes.
anyone who knows me knows it, that it's not been easy being an Indian young girl wanting to pursue studies abroad at a time when even boys were not allowed, forget allowing a girl to go abroad and study, wanting to work. I won't call it career. I was just very, very passionate about what I did. I loved doing what I did. Arts in Motion for me was my baby. It stemmed from the fact that I loved dance. And for me, dance, everyone over the years has said, meditation karo, you're very hyper. For me, dance has been that. Music has been that. Dance has been my meditation. It's been my spirituality. So it's been something that I've gone to every time life has thrown a curveball at me. It's been dance that has pulled me out of it. So I think for me, Arts in Motion was more just something that I did out of pure love and joy and passion. It didn't feel like a career, but it got labeled as a career. So it was not easy doing that entire 20s and 30s when everyone is settling down, having a baby, having kids, in-laws, routine life, whatever. And I think that values, I think having a very strong set of parents backing me, who were very, very confident in me and who always encouraged me to do what I wish to do, while at the same time keeping me very grounded and very rooted. And I'd like to believe that I've made them proud.
You certainly have.
And I think all of that was because the foundation was very strong. I come from a family which is very, very conservative, deeply spiritual. My grandmother was into a lot of puja path satsangs, and my maternal grandfather was also into a lot of service. He ran a school, a hospital, etc., etc. So as a family from both sides, I think that I came from very strong values, and I think that was very important for the emotional resilience that one needs
Very true.
to have gone through the journey that I went through, because it was not easy at all, and then also wanting to live alone, running a dance studio, belly dance ho raha hai, or salsa ho raha hai, and pata nahi kya nahi, and everything was always under question. Oh, now you're doing this, oh, now you're doing this. Then I went abroad to study film school. At 30 something, I went to New York, and then again it was like, oh, you're going to New York to study this. So then I lived alone for a while. I got married super late. So every step of the way, there's been a lot of judgment as far as my life is concerned. But I have to say that I have been so, so, so blessed and fortunate to have the most loving, supportive family and friends who have stood by me through everything, have supported me, have loved me through it all. And till date, I feel that, so coming back to you said late motherhood, I don't look at it from a point of late motherhood. I look at it that it's a blessing. My boy is named Vardhan, and because it's an avatar of Lord Shiv for me. And, I feel very, very grateful. And I say this to everybody that I can, women that I can, that there is no concept of time frame. There's nothing that you are too late for this, you're too late for that. If God wishes, you can have everything in life. And if God doesn't wish, you can have nothing in life. So that's my philosophy for everything. Prayers, faith, belief, a positive attitude, good karma. Kisi ka, you never wish ill for anyone. You never think negative of everybody. And I just feel life has a way of falling into place for everybody. If your heart is pure, your intentions are pure, and you're just, like I said, God Almighty.
God Almighty. Absolutely, Aanchal. Thank you for that and opening up to our audiences. I love the fact that, women out there can take their inspiration from you.
Yeah.
That, you can have it all. You can have your
can have
cake
it all.
and you can eat it too. You can
Yeah.
spend the first 30, 40 years of your life pursuing your passions, and then moving on to the things that you also crave, whether it is marriage or motherhood. So, and I completely agree with you about something where you said, it's all about God.
Yeah.
It's all about, what is in your destiny. And does that make Sanatan fatalistic? Not at all. And here I think I'd like to just share a very small insight where, they say in Sanatan ki jab aap गाय बांधते हो ना, तो जितनी रस्सी है, जितना वो गाय घूम सकता है पानी और चारा तक, बस उतनी ही आपकी फ्री विल है. Everything else is destiny. So in that case, where is the concept of karma? I think it comes from the fact that all of us have the ability to respond to the context
Correct.
as we want.
Correct.
And that is your karma, because karma is never the action, it's always the intention that
Correct.
causes the karma. The very old example of a doctor cutting somebody open and he dies on the operating table, the intention is to save. And vice versa, if it's a murderer, then the intention is to kill.
Correct.
So it's the intention that makes the karma, and that intention is your free will.
Yes.
And so I think that is where I agree with you, that all of these bigger events in life are preordained. I completely understand, how society can sometimes be judgmental of a woman who's living her life on her own terms. And I think I'm one of those who's faced it all my life.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to.
And I had
You
the
know
reverse
better than
of-
anyone else. Yes.
reverse of geriatric or older motherhood. I think I was too young a mother, while my friends in college and in school, high school, I would say, were still dating and giggling about boyfriends. I was
Right.
already pushing a pram,
Right.
and I had a baby, and there was a lot of judgment of that as
Right.
well. So there's no right time. The right time is the time you decide is right for you.
But then also look at you, right? Like, having done that at such an early age, you've now come to a point where, again, you are defying all norms of age, right? You are doing everything that you wish to at this stage in your life. Everything, whether it's business, whether it's work, whether it's living on your terms, whether it's even running a podcast, something that you believe so strongly in. It's not about the podcast, it's something that you have such a strong faith for, and you want to just communicate that. So nothing stops. What I'm trying to say is that you and I are poles apart in terms of what we have done age wise, but at the end of the day, nothing stops, right? Like, it's the drive, it's the passion, it's the power within. And of course, we are, in Navratri while we are shooting this episode. And it's Mata Rani who's always it's your power within. There is nothing external, it's within us, and how much we are willing to tap into that power to do what we want to do in life. And I think that is what is
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that is what is make and break in life.
Totally. I think we live in Kali Yuga, and as has often been said, there are two mantras, if you like, for Kali Yuga. I'm not talking about the physical mantras, but I'm talking about two modalities. One is karm, and the other is namasmaran.
Right.
So these are two things you can practice even in the most difficult of times, even in the easiest of times, as part of your everyday life. Do the do.
And the third is seva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do the do with nishkam karm.
Correct.
It is not with agendas.
Correct.
But today this podcast is about reaching out to people who might just benefit from this conversation.
Correct.
Besides the fact that, as you said, for me it is about the Sanatani body of wisdom and knowledge that I firmly believe comes from a different dimension.
Correct.
And I don't want this to be lost, which is what will happen if we don't talk about it in the next 400-500 years. So we must all do. If we touch 10 lives, that's 10 more people who are inspired by both Sanatan as well as journeys of women like you. I have always been very inspired by you, Aanchal, because you've got this never give up, never say die kind of attitude. And by the way, I must tell our audiences that she's a very ardent traveler, and she and I have done a lot of countries around the world together.
Yes.
Yeah. She was my frequent visitor in London as well. So it was always so lovely to have her as part of those journeys that we've undertaken together. So is there a country or is there a place that you particularly love and will always go back to? For me, that's always London.
It's always London. And I think for a lot of Indians, it's always London. I think for me, it was also very, very personal because I really wanted to go and study in London because my father studied in London. And he lived there for a while, and he has very strong roots. And I grew up listening to all of that, and I think I wanted to go study there, and that built that kind of attachment. Also, I think that my life turned around in university. The best friendships of my life, some of them, are the ones that I built in university, and it's been almost 25 years ago. I met my husband when I was in university. It's a different thing that we got married as late as now. But also, I think that a lot of that is rooted. So I would say that country and that space, place, memories has given that. And every visit after that, so many visits with you. And I think it's also a lot of that, like, because I have done everything earlier in my life, in the earlier years, I feel so fulfilled and satisfied that at this stage, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Being home, I think that being home with Vardhan is like my biggest joy because I don't miss going out. I don't miss, anything at all. And I'm just, I'm just happy to be with him. I don't have to be doing anything. I just, we just hang out and I enjoy.
Right. So, Aanchal, you've mentioned the huge support system that you've had in in your parents, in your family, that has actually anchored your journey. And one of the things that I think about being Bharatiya that is so we're so blessed to have it, is that we have this strong family structure, home.
Absolutely.
And I think it keeps us all sane.
Yes.
So I'd love to know a little bit more about both your relationship with your parents themselves, and the kind of family support that has allowed you to become who you are today, an independent and successful woman and artist.
So maybe I think that in my case, it's been pretty ironic because I do come from a very conservative family. I still tell my dad that, in college in the middle of the afternoon, I was not allowed to go for movies because boys were going. And cut to, I'm going abroad to study. I'm choosing not to marry at a certain age. I'm choosing to run my studios. I'm choosing to live alone. and how has all of that panned out? And I think a lot of that also comes from their confidence in their upbringing. And at no stage have, I allowed them to feel that in the midst of everything that I am doing, that it's going to bring any sort of, I won't say shame value, because I don't want to be judgmental about anybody's lives, but nothing but them feeling proud of what I've done. And I think that because they have allowed me the leeway to pursue what I want to in my life. Because they let me go abroad, I was very careful about how I conducted myself, how I would behave, how I would talk, etc. Simply because I did not want to take advantage of the fact that I have been given this leeway. And I think that has been the case every step of the way. So even when I wanted to run my studios, now obviously coming from a conservative Punjabi family, from a steel background and whatever, and I wanted to run a dance studio in those days, and it was like, oh, you'll run a dance studio. Even that was in question. And I remember my nani telling me at that time, and she said, "Teko studio chalana hai." I said, "Yeah, तू चला, मैं बैठी हूँ, मैं देखती हूँ तेरे को कोई क्या बोलता है." And I think that gave me the confidence. And because my nana ran a school, and he said that, you're even this is a form of education, and education is holy. Imparting education is holy. And for him, so these are the values that I had, and this is what I tried to keep intact. So for me, everything that I did, whether it was a belly dance class or a salsa class or a Kathak class, it didn't matter, because for me it was teaching of some form, it was education of some form. I had a very healthy respect for all the teachers who came to my studio. The teachers had a very healthy respect for the space that I created. And I think that really held stead. We would do these events once a year called Dance for Joy, which was a pretty big event that we would do. And the idea was spreading joy through dance and healing through dance. So we would work with differently abled sections of the society, whether it was children with autism, children with speech hearing difficulties, children, patients on wheelchairs, cancer survivors. The underlying idea was always spreading joy through dance, healing, dignity in every way. And, every year, everyone would tell me, well, obviously it was, it was press event. We would have a lot of, I would say, celebrities coming and endorsing, supporting us in many ways, because it was for a cause or whatever. And they would always say, "Acha, aap ye sab kar rahe ho." And I would always say, I said, "No, I'm sorry. But I think the learning is for me. The learning is not, I don't think I'm doing anything great, because I'm only providing a platform. But year after year after year, I am blown by the positivity and the spirit of people who don't have it all, and yet, the zest with which they live life, and they're here performing on stage and being happy and laughing and smiling. And for us, everything is aaj ye nahi hua, aaj wo nahi hua, life is about this
First
and
world problems.
first world problems. And if rooted in gratitude, I think, is also something that's very essential. And for me, even for Vardhan, I feel that every single day I am grateful to Mata Rani for having blessed me with this child, because it may or may not have been in my destiny. But I think, like I said, that for me,
It
I
was.
believe, yeah. And I also believe very strongly in the power of prayers. I feel that there is nothing that we cannot get in life without,
Agreed.
if we have God on our side. And I think that all these values for me came from childhood, came from parents, and they stood strong behind me. So because they were standing strong behind me, every decision that I made with a certain level of confidence, and with that, I'm not doing anything wrong in life. So there's no reason for. It's not been easy, being young and single, and a single girl, family events, weddings, etc., etc. Everybody would be like, "Acha, tu kab shadi kari?" The
Yeah,
typical.
the
I've been through
typical
the whole
pressure.
gamut of it
Yeah.
all. Oh, you are working. Oh, you have a career. So it's none of it has been easy. But somewhere along the line, I have also learned to own my choices. This is the choice that I made. I chose not to settle for something. It's not that I didn't meet men, it's not that I didn't meet, but there was something that I was aspiring for. I was aspiring for love, I was aspiring for friendship, and I was not willing to settle. And I took every step of my life and I made the best out of it. So whether it was arts in motion, I really enjoyed it. Travel, like you said, because we've traveled, like you, even you and I have traveled around so much. you just grab everything in every stage of life. And now I don't feel it. I don't feel the loss because I feel I've been there,
You've
done
lived your
that. I've
life
lived
king
my life.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until I'm able to do it again. But till then,
Absolutely. I think, I think you're fundamentally saying that you've walked through every door
Yeah.
that has opened easily.
yes.
Tried to push and knock down a few doors, but
banged
I think
some.
those have probably been few and far apart. And I think that is what, Sanathan teaches us. It's
Yes.
in a way mindfulness.
Yes.
It's not just walking through the doors in the moment, but it's walking through as the best version of
Correct.
yourself.
Correct.
This is what I often think back to my own motherhood, and I think, oh, I was so young. I was a teenager,
Yeah.
19 years old. And is it possible that I didn't do a good job, or I didn't, do the
Yeah.
best I could?
Yeah.
But I did the best I knew then.
Yes.
That's why I'm really looking forward to grandchildren because there's a different part of me and there's a different kind of contribution. But at every moment, I think as long as you've been the best version of yourself, you've lived your Sanatan Dharma.
Yes.
That is the dharmic way
Yeah.
of existence.
Yes.
Where, you put your best foot forward and you do something. You've talked of, some very key Sanatan values here that just came through. You probably didn't realize it, but you were talking about it. Gratitude being the very key, value that one has to literally begin the day with. In our
Correct.
dinacharya, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing is gratitude because you've even woken up. How many people are not blessed with the opportunity
Absolutely.
to have another day
Absolutely.
of
And
their
a
life
healthy
to
day.
live?
And a healthy day.
Yeah, healthy day
Healthy
to
day.
live. So I think that was really, beautiful from that journey. And we've talked about our travel. So I think for me, one of the beautiful things after I returned to India was that this Punya Bhumi, you're never more than 2 hours
Correct.
away
From
from a
any-
power spot.
Correct. Absolutely.
You even in the city of Mumbai, where we talk about the commercial capital, but we have Mahalakshmi Mandir, we have Babulnath, we have
Siddhivinayak,
Siddhivinayak, and
Mumbai
any
Devi.
number, Mumbai
Yeah.
Devi. There's just
Yes.
so many mandirs in any one in
Yeah.
all of these cities, and it's so lovely to go and feel those energies. When you experience them, and you know that we
Yes.
have a little group that only travels
Temple
to
girls.
temple sites.
Yeah.
And it's been a beautiful coming back to the country and visiting these places for, I think, both of us in many ways. So that's wonderful. And Achal, I'd like you to leave our audiences with a few thoughts on what is it that you want to primarily inculcate in Vardhan. Because as a woman, and as a woman who's sort of marched to her own beat, what do you want to inculcate in him so that he sees the Shakti aspect of every woman? And also, what are the kind of values that you want to, pass on to Vardhan?
That is such an interesting question, Mimi. And before I go into that, I also have to say that there is something you said to me when Vardhan was born, and it is something that I remember every single day of my life. You said to me, motherhood is a long journey.
Yes.
And there are so many days when I feel I'm not doing enough of this, I'm not doing enough of that. And then I remember what you said to me, and that is, it stays with me, and I'm like, okay, but I've done this right today. So I feel, there's a lot of stuff that I also think at times that I'm not doing enough for him. But I think that for me, for Vardhan, maybe because it's age, maybe because I've seen life differently, maybe because I'm much older, my aspirations for him are not a certain career, a certain a certain level of success, of course I wish all of that and more for him. I wish he has the most easy and successful path in his life for everything, especially because I've had a very hard journey. But I think more than anything else, I want really for Vardhan to be able to go through the beats of life with ease and grace, which is something that we've learned the hard way, you've learned the hard way, I've learned the hard way, our parents have learned the hard way. But because there is a collective consciousness in the world today, I know there's a lot of war, there's a lot of dishevel, but there's also a lot simultaneously. The world has never been more aware spiritually and
yeah.
awakening more spiritually and more. So I would, more than anything else, what I want for Vardhan is to be a very, very happy child from within. And this doesn't have to be materialistic happiness or any of the sort. Very rooted in values, very rooted in his culture, in prayers, in gratitude, And more than anything else, for him to be able to take life as it comes and to take it with a lot of resilience and grace and positivity and happiness, and be able to go through the ups and downs of life. I may not be able to protect him. I know my parents have never been able to, much as they feel my pain, but they're not able to prevent anything unfortunate that comes my way. And I know I'm not going to be able to do that for him, because I've understood that and you've understood that. But I just wish that, I only pray that he builds that kind of fortitude and
Yes.
resilience, and that has to be rooted in prayers and grace. I make it a point every morning, some or the other mantra. So when I was pregnant, every morning at 4:30 I would wake up and I would play all these mantra japs on my YouTube, because I just wanted him to absorb all that
How beautiful.
positivity.
And in the Brahma Muhurtam.
And in that moment, yes, in that 4:30, they call it the golden hour, I believe.
Brahma
And
Muhurtam, yeah.
Brahma Muhurtam. And I don't know if it will help, but I hope that it will help.
Of course.
And even now, when there are moments when he's really crying, the one thing that really works for him is Ekonkar. And it's
Oh,
also probably
interesting.
because something that I have played a lot when I was pregnant with him. So I do believe these small things will matter. I believe
They are the
very
big
deeply
things in life,
yeah.
actually.
And you also said to me one more thing. You said that be mindful of everything. I register everything that you tell me.
Yeah,
You
I
know that.
know.
And I remember you
remember
told me
things
that
I don't remember.
I remember you told me, when you start feeding him, make sure that is also rooted in prayers.
Your thoughts,
Your
yeah.
thoughts when you feed, that the food that he takes in, the mindset with which you feed him, gratitude for food, prayers. I keep all of that in mind as much as I can. I just want him to be a very loving child, where he gives a lot of love, receives a lot of love. Everything else will just fall into place.
Absolutely.
So I do hope
Absolutely.
that.
That was so beautiful. I think that, I almost cried. And I think this is the, natural state of every human being.
Yeah.
It's Satchit Ananda.
Yes.
Your natural state is one of happiness, is one of joy.
Yeah.
And you just have to clear away all of the programming of society.
Correct.
I'm always reminded of, Rodin was asked when he sculpted Le Penseur, the thinker, how did you come up with this? And he said he was already there. I just chipped away the rock.
Chipped away the rocks, yeah.
And I think all of us are already there.
Yeah.
And we just need to chip away some of this Western programming, some of this loss of the Bharatiya culture. And I'm hoping through the Bharatiya frequency to be able to help you walk that journey and with me. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Aanchal
much,
Gupta
Mimi.
Kalantri, for
It was
joining
so
us
lovely talking to
today
you.
on this podcast. And it's been so wonderful chatting with you.
So
Many more
nice.
to come, I'm sure.
Many more to
The
come.
first of many.